while Jackson's a target, I also think there's something else that becomes evident about Lincoln, not just at that time, but earlier as well as later. I think part of Lincoln's genius is he's able to learn from people, regardless of whether he actually idolized them or not. He's able to sort of look at somebody he might disapprove of politically, but still see something valuable or worth emulating or worth learning from that person. And Jackson's that person.
We're sort of talking here about a study of either insiders or people who want to be inside, and certainly as white men, they have access to those halls of power, and Lincoln, and in his Lyceum address, is seeking to sort of establish his right, to be one of them. So the sort of drawing this line between what is reason and what is passion serves his purpose, as an aspirant for public office. But for all of those people for whom those kinds of aspirations were impossible to fulfill, namely disfranchised immigrants, women, people of color, nobody expected it. Nobody sort of expected them necessarily. Nobody would have been surprised by displays of a lack of reason or of passion. So I think it's important to sort of think about the way in which all of this rhetoric was both gendered and raced at the same time.
When Lincoln heard about the raid on Harper's Ferry, he thought it was the worst thing to happen to the anti-slavery movement imaginable. And for Lincoln, these two were pretty closely allied. It was potentially the worst thing to happen to his political ambitions, because Lincoln could tell, anybody could tell, by the autumn of 1859, when the raid on Harper's Ferry takes place, that the Republicans are going to nominate and elect the next president, assuming they don't really alarm the rest of the country. The arithmetic of the Electoral College was such that the Republican candidate was going to win. Their first nominee in 1856 almost won, and their fortunes had improved ever since then. And so Lincoln was trying to keep a distinction, a very important distinction, between moderate anti-slavery elements, the ones he considered to be the heart of the Republican Party, and wild-eyed abolitionists like John Brown.